Hi everybody. I was not going to do a video today, but instead take the day off, walk the dogs, take time to put some cream on my face, sort out my bedroom, and so on. But when do things ever work out as planned? Some news on the yellow dog. She is coming along very well. I managed to get a leash on her and walked her around the yard first, but since yesterday, I've been taking her out for longer walks outside of the yard, and I am amazed at how well she is listening to me and almost instinctively followed my instructions. Haley usually wants to carry on walking, and it takes me talking rather loudly once or twice to get her back in through the gate. But not Yellow Dog. She wagged her tail when she saw us heading for the gate, and she did not mind going back into her little area again. I praised her and gave her a treat, and she looked so proud of herself. We are definitely making progress, although we have not decided yet whether we are going to keep her. Now that she's healthy and putting on some weight, I fear that she may be a little too big for me to handle, but we'll give it another week or so because she still needs to have some work done. And once that's done, we will decide. If we decide not to keep her, I promise I will find her a good home. Once we have bathed her and clipped her nails, unfortunately, the weather did not play along the last 2 days, so we will have to postpone that till next week. I will take some new photographs and introduce the new yellow dog to you. Okay, so what can we say about William and Catherine at Friday's Earthshot Award? Oh my word, can any one person be more perfect? Now look, I know that rented dress was still a designer dress and not just any old dress off the rail at Walmart. But Catherine wore that dress, and the dress did not wear her. Her hair was beautifully shiny, her makeup was dramatically perfect. Oh my word, I know the Middletons love all their children and are proud of all three of them. But I can't help but think that Papa Middleton must be slapping himself on the shoulder and say, "Job well done, mate." Together, their conduct and demeanor was just perfect. No wonder everyone around them falls in love with him. William is one lucky dude and should thank his lucky stars for the good choice he made. And Catherine did not do too badly herself. I have a feeling that the Americans had fallen in love with the couple this week. I have honestly jumped from one channel to the other, CBS, Fox, Sky, one publication to the other, The Guardian, The Mail, The Express, New York Times, magazines like Town and Country, Harper's Bazaar, and others, and nowhere a single word of criticism except for the New York Times, which tried to downplay the whole thing by making their headline, "Bostonians are unimpressed by Prince William and Princess Kate's visit." And then you read the article and it talks about crowds gathering, cheering for the photogenic royals. I guess the Bostonians were not unimpressed either. Actually, I think the crowds grew as time progressed, and that cheering outside the MGM Music Hall was so loud. Oh my goodness, I'm really so happy and relieved that it went down so well. Not that I expected anything else from William and Kate, but one never knows with all those crazies out there. Okay, and now what? Newspapers are saying that Prince William and the King will hold crisis talks to respond to any allegations of racism and ill treatment of Harry and Meghan, which they may make in their docu-series. And you know what? This time, I think the newspapers are not lying. I think, reading between the lines, this docu-series has finally brought everything which had been festering under the surface to the top, and the muck is bubbling under the surface, threatening to explode and spill over. And if a strategy is not put in place soon to either distance themselves, the monarchy, and the country from Harry and Meghan and their lackeys, it will spill over. You can backtrack and tell me how old the monarchy is, how it had weathered many storms, blah, blah, blah. It does not matter. We live in a different world now, and cancel culture is a real thing. The royal family had allowed Harry and Meghan to walk all over them for far too long. They have turned a blind eye, turned the other cheek for way too long. And by now, there is not an olive tree left to offer the branches of. It had indeed gone too far. Okay, in case you had been wondering, I have Haley in the background joining the conversation, but let's carry on. On Friday night, the Mail ran a poll which was open for an hour or two only, and the question was whether you wanted Harry's title stripped, yes or no. Very quickly, 11,000 people voted, and 98% voted for Harry's title to be stripped. Okay, but now that is the public. Then we go on to Parliament. We only 2 days ago, or 3 days ago, they finished with the matter of the councillors of state, and soon they will be reading the proposals for the changes to the, I think it's called the Removal of Titles Bill, for lack of a better word, for the last time. So, for the first time since 2013, Parliament was in a position to vote on something pertaining to the royal family. Small matters of discussion do crop up from time to time, like, for instance, expanding the public parking at one of the castles, etc., etc. But very seldom is Parliament put in a position to vote or rule on anything pertaining to the royal family members themselves. And why? Because usually they govern themselves. Most things are sorted out internally behind closed doors, and if it is something potentially serious, the monarch will call on his or her Privy Council for a vote or advice. But now we have Parliament involved in matters directly and indirectly involving the royal family. Two matters at the same time. So, what does this mean? It means, for the first time in a long, long time, the royal family is indeed being looked at and scrutinized by the British Parliament. And no, I'm not talking through my backside. The matter of the Council of State got quite a bit of discussion and back and forth in Parliament, more than I expected, to be honest with you. And then I saw remarks made by MP Bob Steely, and I'm going to play the audio for you.
Find it very difficult to take what's her name, Meghan and Harry seriously. I don't know what's gone wrong in their lives, but I just think they're just this pathetic, narcissistic, self-indulgent pair. I just think they're dreadful. I was just talking to Isabel earlier. Why on earth we allow him to keep his titles? If he hates this country, if he hates the monarchy, if I had enough time, I'd be bringing in a private member's bill to say, right, you want to hate the monarchy? You're Mr. Windsor. Jog on, really. Grow up. I mean, I know that Hollywood is full of sad old Etonians with slightly sort of racy girlfriends trying to justify their existence, but please, give me a break. I can't bear it. I just can't bear them. I cannot bear them. Thank you so much. I feel better already.
I just wish you'd tell us what you thought.
No, I won't hold back
so
next time.
nuanced.
That's go, Bob. Yeah. Pretty good, Bob.
Now, if you and I are honest, we, at least most of us on this channel, feel the same, but we don't have the power to do much. Here is an example for you. Those of you who have been on this channel for a while may remember me talking about footage and photographs taken in and around the palaces. And no, I was not talking about photographs Meghan took before they were married. I was talking about after they were married. Ages ago, I got some information about stuff photographed and recorded during Harry and Meghan's stay in the United Kingdom. And not only did I tell you here on a public platform, but I did do my best to give Kensington Palace a heads up. Did anyone listen or pay attention? No. Maybe the courtiers already knew about it. I don't know. But I also said that at some point it will be used in public. And now here we are. Already with just the trailer out there, there is one photograph of them walking out of the foyer to the Buckingham Palace gardens, which was apparently taken without the Queen or Prince Charles's permission. Now, who took that photograph? A member of the family, or Meghan's friend and personal, not so expert Photoshop guy, Missan Harriman? If it was, say, Missan Harriman, then how did he get inside the palace? Only Harry and Meghan could have cleared him to get in. How much more are we going to see and hear, and how bad is it going to be? I don't know yet. And I cancelled Netflix ages ago, but I'll make a plan to watch it so you won't have to. If it is as bad as we expect it to be, what will be the fallout? We are already hearing conflicting stories. One, that William will fight back, and two, that King Charles is not worried or afraid, just weary of all this nonsense. Well, I think the British people and people of the Commonwealth are up to the brim with the Harkles and their nonsense. We have had enough. I am receiving questions like, do you think the king will strip their titles if the series is as bad as we think it may be? I don't know, but I certainly hope so. How can he not? How many times must Harry still go out there and repeat that he does not like England, does not like the British people, and hates the British press? Exactly how many more times before the British demand those titles and his passport back? Please tell me that, King Charles. Who exactly are those Brits he wants to teach a lesson to? Not just the royal family, but everyone you know and I know who live in Britain. What is this? How can it be allowed to continue? On your screen is the coronation oath. King Charles will perhaps change a word here and there to modernize it, but otherwise it will very much remain the same. It is his job to govern and protect his people, and it is his job to step up on behalf of his people and deal with Meghan and Harry. He cannot just sit back and go, "Oh, I'm so tired of this." It is not just about him. It is about everyone and anyone in the entire Commonwealth. So, in many of my videos, I have spoken about the numerous times Harry said he does not like England. And here is but one example.
I don't want to sit around at Windsor because I just generally don't like England that much, and it's nice to be away from all the press and the papers and the general shite that they write.
And now he is so vindictive that not only does he want to hurt his family, but he wants to teach the British people a lesson. Is he or are you aware that this actually constitutes felony treason, a law which still stands in the United Kingdom to this day? On your screen is a short excerpt from the newest felony treason law. Will Parliament or the Palace charge Harry with felony treason after the docu-series? No, they won't, but they can. Will they give Harry a choice? Either be charged with felony treason or surrender your British passport. No, likely not, but they can. Can Bob Seeley use backbench legislation to act against Harry if the King does not step up? Yes, he can. People in general do not understand the power of the people. We have been so indoctrinated and brainwashed to be subservient and complacent that we think, oh, there's nothing I can do. However, my friend, there is a lot we can do. As a backbencher, Bob Seeley may not have an office in Parliament, but he carries the power of the people with him. He is in the position where he carries the vote of his people with him, and he has less to lose than those prominent front row politicians. Backbenchers are members of Parliament or members of the House of Lords who have unofficial agenda setting power and can place items on the parliamentary agenda which are awkward for government. Backbenchers have more freedom to speak as they are not already or always constrained by loyalty to the current government. In the United States, backbenchers are less successful and of lesser consequence than in Britain. So if Bob Seeley gets the support from his constituents, he can place anything on the parliamentary agenda. And right now, if the King does not step up, I sincerely hope that someone like Bob Seeley will. And then, as if we are not sick enough of Harry and his wife, Harry appears as Spider-Man in his Christmas message to a charity for bereaved military children. Now, listening to him, how much his voice has changed, watching him, what can I say other than that I think he is on the brink of insanity or abusing his medication. Anyway, guys, I think I had my fill for the day. I hope you had a wonderful weekend or is still having a wonderful weekend. I'll see you early in the week. So, until then, please take good care of yourself. Bye.